Hey everyone, it's Molly again from the Coastal Watershed Council, and we're on to lesson number 5. So you're watching the video to share what you're going to be doing. The next thing you're going to do, my friends, is to go on to step 2 to join me in yoga at the San Lorenzo River. So after we do our mindfulness activity, we're going to watch a quick video where we're going to study the words control, stable, and unstable. And this is going to help us understand something that we're going to be reading a little bit later.
Hi.
So you'll watch the YouTube video studying the words control, stable, and unstable. And then you're going to read about 3 different techniques scientists and engineers use to stabilize stream banks and control erosion. So there's 3 different control techniques. So the first one we'll read about is tree stumps and roots. The second one that we'll learn about is native trees, planting native trees and shrubs. And the third control technique that we'll learn about is using mesh fabric to control erosion. So after you've read those 3 pieces of text, you're going to go to your journal to this number 6, stabilizing stream banks and controlling erosion. And in our journal, what you're going to be doing is writing down, let's get to page 6 here. You're going to be writing down the main text idea you learned from each of the text. And you can type your notes in, or you could write down what you noticed or read was the main idea you learned from the text that you just read. The next step, and you might want to take a stretch break at this point, is to go on to the next page, and we're going to compare what are the positives and negatives of 2 of the control techniques. So we're going to go back to our journal, and we're going to go to number 7. And we're going to say I'm going to compare planting native trees and shrubs and mesh fabric. And I see over here that there's some ideas I can use to think about what is good about planting native trees and shrubs. I'm going to say that it is easy to plant native trees and shrubs. I also think it's something that everyone can do to help stop erosion. You have your own ideas. You can type in or write down what you think is positive or good about this technique. Now, for mesh fabric, I think that the mesh fabric will do a good job of covering a large area of erosion or an unstable stream bank. Okay, I think it's going to be good for a large area. Now those are the positives that I thought about. And now I'm going to think about the negatives. What's bad? Or maybe what's not the best thing about this technique? So for the native plants, I would say that you would need a lot of native plants to cover an area where there is erosion. So we need a lot of plants. And for the mesh fabric, I think that the mesh fabric would cost a lot of money. So those are the bad things I think, or the negatives I think about native plants to control erosion and installing a mesh fabric to control erosion. Once you've done that, my friends, move on to the next step. And that's where we're going to answer our guiding question. So if you remember way back in lesson 1, we were introduced to the question we're going to try to answer by the end of our time together. And that question is, how can humans reduce the cause and effects of erosion on the San Lorenzo River? So think back through everything that you've done, you've read about, you've learned, and type in or write your answer here. Now, of course, we're all going to have different ideas, and it'd be great for us to learn from each other. So the final step that you're going to do for this lesson is you're going to share your answers to the guiding question so that other students can learn from you. So you're going to click to visit a Padlet. And on this Padlet, it's going to give you a chance to type in your own thoughts. So there's some instructions here on what to do. So you're going to click the pink plus button, and it's going to open up an area where you can type in your answer to the guiding question here. Okay? And then if you click outside, so I'm going to click in the area right next to the riverbank, and that will save my answer. Now, you'll notice that it's a waving approval because these responses will be monitored and approved for other people to view. All right, my friends, lesson 5 has a lot in it, but it's a great way for us to think about what are some of the ways that we can stop erosion from happening along the local rivers. All right, my friends, have a great day.